Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Armada here for Bobcat TV. We got Willcox and Cienega wrestling. Score so far 15-6 Cienega. Micaiah from Cienega and the Willcox gentleman. His name is Parker. There we go. As of right now, score 0-0, 122 left in the first period. Micaiah's done a good job staying on top. Here he is right now. He's got an over half. And 2-0 from the takedown. He shot a sweet double leg if you guys missed it. He's got both hipped under. He's trying to set up a cradle. He's got to do a good job. He's not too high. Parker's just going to kick him right over. He's staying on one side, flips him right over. No back points so far, no back points. Rest counting him. He's going to get 3 here if he plays his cards right. Trying to hook that opposite leg from kicking with his leg. That'll keep him from it. That'll get a nice hold. He should be able to pin him. There's the pin right there. Cienega gets their pins. They have 2 so far. Willcox has 1. 21-6 Cienega now. Now we're on to our 138 pounders. Zach Smith from Willcox and Addison Bliss from Cienega. Addison Bliss had a few varsity matches his freshman year. His sophomore year, he's had a couple here and there. He's done a lot better. He was a real good freshman, real smart, real clean, real finesse wrestler. He wasn't a bulldog right off the bat. So it's good to see him here as we watch him make his progress. Here we go. They're locking hands both. They got heads, head on head, which is real good for Addison Bliss. He's a good outside. As you see him trying to step to the outside here and there, he's going to shoot that outside single instead. Smith shoots that low single. Addison's trying to kick him away. As you see, he's pushing his head up. You got to get as much distance as you can if you're in that position right there. Addison gives up 2. Stepping out of bounds. It's a smart move by Bliss. Smart move by Smith as well. Bliss on bottom, Smith on top. Locks up. Caution Smith. The rule there is once the referee gives you the okay, then you're okay. If you stand up too early, that is a caution. Smith with the ankle pick there. He's trying to set up a cradle once again. Bliss doing a nice job with wrist control here on the top. Bliss with a Benson roll. There we go with the switch. He's got the escape neutral. Bliss right off the bat as soon as neutral's called, going back right at it. He's got a wrist. He's shooting the low single. Smith shoots the low single. At it again. Bliss has no defense on that low single. Smith is aware of that. He's got a real good crossface here towards the end. As you can see, he pulls that arm towards him. Bliss has no defense on the side where that arm is pulled. That's an easy roll right there. As you can see, he's about to get rolled. Bliss has got to shoot his hips the opposite direction. It's like driving on a skid of snow. Always go with the skid. Bliss should have stand up, got his 1 point. It's 4-1. Bliss he's got to stand up, get his 1 point. Oh, mark my words. There we go. He's going to switch instead. He's aware he's got no neutral defense. He's going to try and get on top. Bliss has got to peek his head out. As you can see, Smith has his wrist locked with Bliss. That was keeping him from peeking his head out. Niblo's telling him the same thing too. Oh, we got a little blood. No blood. Never mind. And Bliss falls upright again. Period over. 4-2 Smith. 4-2 Willcox. Overall team score 21-6. Cienega winning with flying colors right now. Calls red. Red defers. Green goes down. Smart move. 4-2. Like I was just explaining to a colleague of mine, the smart choice is if you're down on points and you get the choice of top or bottom, you always choose bottom. Therefore, you get the reverse for 2. You can get the stand-up and a takedown. That's 3 immediate points. And Bliss immediately falls for the cradle. Immediately falls for the cradle. He's on his back. He's bridging up. The key to getting out of the cradle, put both feet, cross them up. You get both power, enough to break that grip. And right now, my buddy, my pal, my amigo, compadre, Nathan Peterson joining me. Nathan, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Art?
Oh, we're good. 21-6, 4-2. Bliss down right now. Did a good job getting out of that cradle. 3 points, Willcox. 7-2 now. Bliss he's got to do something right now. It's second period. There's a minute left. Bliss has got to make some points. He's got to make some magic happen. He's got a leg hooked right there. Peterson roll, if I've ever seen one. There's an actual move called the Peterson roll.
News to me.
Yeah. He's got to slip his head out before he goes out of bounds, or he's got to pull him back in, or else he's not going to get those points. He's going to end up right back on bottom. And if you're Smith, you fly out of bounds. Get the heck out of bounds. I don't know what he's doing here. Bliss has got to pull his head out before he goes out of bounds. Stalemate. Ref calls a stalemate. Rule for a stalemate is if for more than 11 seconds, if no action happens, stalemate, start right back where you are. The sport of wrestling is action, action, action. You'll hear the ref screaming it for a little bit. There's no movement. Ref will call it. Start back over. There's that caution I was talking about earlier. Smith on top, hand on the belly, goes for the ankle pick right away. Bliss has no defense from the bell, which is a bad idea, as you can see right there. Falls to the cradle yet again. He's got to put his open leg right on top of his hooked leg, kick them both out, so he's kicking with 2 legs instead of 1. Instead, he rolls back over. Smith gets 3 points. Smith run away with this one into the third period if Bliss doesn't make any magic happen. Bliss has got to get an escape at least an escape. He's got a leg hooked. There he goes for the Turk. That's bad news for Bliss. Bad news. He's grabbing his face, which is completely legal. Completely legal. It's not legal once you go towards the throat. Fury it over. Back. Gets no back points for that. It was on the shoulders the whole time. And because Smith of Willcox deferred in the first period, it is his choice. Smart move by Smith. 10-2, 2 minutes in the third. Bliss has got to get some back points. If anything, what is a smart move is could be some blood right here on his left knee. We're going to start blood time. There might be someone Addison's nose. Start blood time. Start blood time, Cienega.
Now, can you tell me exactly what blood time is?
So here you can go. If we could get a shot of the trainer with Addison Bliss. There we are. So as you can see, they're working on it. There's a little timer right by the cotton swabs. If you guys can see it, they're going to start that timer as soon as ref calls blood time. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. If they cannot patch up the blood in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, match is over. As you can see, Niblo, the Don of Cienega Wrestling, been here since the school opened. Wrestling is his baby. Takes good care of it too. Rocks it to sleep every night.
Yeah, they just got a bunch of new mats and stuff because the wrestling room and the weight room had switched. Some of the wrestlers don't like the new wrestling room, but
they don't like change. Routine. I tell you what, wrestling is probably the closest to the military of a sport I've ever been a part of. You wake up, eat your breakfast, wrestle, eat your dinner, go to sleep.
But you gotta watch what you eat.
Routine. Yeah. Bliss on top. As you saw, that defense right at the bell goes, flings his hands right out. He knew Bliss was gonna go try to grab a wrist. That's bell wrestling right there. Right at the bell, you start wrestling.
And in your opinion, what is better, to be on top or be on the bottom to start?
It's all preference. It's all preference. Do you like are you a rim shooter? Are you a paint shooter? You like running the ball? You like passing the ball? It's all preference. But for Addison Bliss here, for the occasion being, for the time being, it's 10-2. Being on top is bad because there's only one way to get points. If I was him, what I would do is I would let Smith go, give up the 1 point, make it 11-2, get the takedown 2, start back up from there so you have an immediate 2 points and you have a little momentum. Instead, Bliss is working. Smith is standing up. That's bad news. Go right out of bounds. Smart move by Bliss. Push him right out. And because no lock was broken and no player had no player had control, they're going to go right back to referees. Bliss on top. Bliss goes for the ankle. There we go. There's a great move right there. If you shoot the arm up to the opposite side, as you can see, he's got no defense on his left side. Bliss, you got to go to his right side. Got to go to his right side so we can roll him over. There we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And he does a bad job of getting too high. Smith bucks him right off. Bad news for Bliss. Reversal, 2 points. 40 seconds left. Smith is looking to run away with this one. This match has been all Smith of Willcox. Zach Smith, to be exact. It's been all Zach. They tell you in wrestling, and this is a saying all the way around the board, the best defense is a good offense. So if you got great offense and you're just playing offense the whole match, you won't need to play defense. And that's what Zach Smith has done this whole match. You've seen him on defense for about 8 seconds the whole match. Just been playing offense. 6 seconds left. Zach Smith's going to run away with this one. 12-2. Fly out of bounds with a second left.
Was that good or bad right there, flying out of bounds?
I guess we'll find out. Normally the miracle Hail Mary right here, you shoot a Granby, roll him over, get a pin with a second left, but that doesn't look to be happening. There's caution again for Smith. Second caution, he should have got some points there, but I don't think it would have made a difference. Bell, second. Match. All Smith, all red, all Willcox this whole match.
And up next, who we got?
We got the 145-pounders, Mason Dalton and Hayden Gutnick. Hayden Gutnick, the little brother of Trace Gutnick, the 2-time state champion here at Cienega.
See if it runs in the family.
It does. He had tons of varsity matches his freshman year. Sophomore year, got down to JV because who was in front of him at the 38s. He moved up a weight class smart. And right now, he's got Mason Dalton. There we go, Trace. He's a low single. As you saw in that last match, all those shots that Zach Smith was shooting, those low singles, shoot down, put your knee on the mat, grab the ankle. That's Hayden's. Look at it. Got the hand right out. He's ready to shoot it at the get-go. As you can see, Dalton probably knows this. As you can see, he's got one foot forward. There we go. 1 foot forward. That was good defense to get a shot up, and Hayden was distracted. Gave up the 2.
And how do you get out of this position right here?
He's doing a bad job right now, I'll tell you what. As you see, his elbows need to be up against his rib cage. Dalton's shot right up, grabbed a hold of his shoulders. That's bad news for Gutnick. Gutnick's already gassed, already limping. This is bad news. 130. Oh, 130 in the first, 2-0 Dalton. Dalton's a lefty. As you can see, he's on the right side. That makes just about as much of a difference as left-handed or right-handed pitcher. It's just a little weird at first. He's got shooting up a cradle. Willcox loves those cradles. Fantastic job. As you saw, that the leg that wasn't getting the hook kept Gutnick's other leg down. Gutnick had no chance of rolling. Now, like I said before, that leg that keeps kicking, you got to stack them, cross them, use both legs to kick out of the lock instead of just use one. Work smarter, not harder. Dalton's got a leg hooked in there. Gutnick's doing a bad job of letting him into his shoulders. He's got a power half right there. That was my favorite move right there. As you can see, Gutnick just gasping in pain. It hurts. As you can see, his shoulder blade is popping right out, right near his armpit. That's painful, completely all the way around. And there goes Dalton. Could get some back points here. Gutnick's got to shoot his other arm under, get back on his stomach. Gutnick's got no D with his other arm out. As you can see, it just flailing out. There we go, back on his stomach. Good job, Hayden. Dalton gets some back points, 5-0, 20 seconds in the first. Gutnick, you got to do a good job. Do not give any back points. Just hold that right there. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. Just hold that right there. There's a caution right there. 8 seconds. Gutnick, you got to hold that for 8 seconds. Don't give up anything cheap right before the half. Rolled there. Great job by Gutnick in the last 30 seconds of that match. Gutnick defers to Red. Red chooses bottom. Hayden had a great opportunity here to get some points. Red chose bottom. That's like running out the clock, just passing the ball around in basketball too. Dalton's just going to sit there, see what he can get, see if he can get an escape. If he gets an escape, he's back in business with those singles. Gutnick doing a bad job, was way too high on that cup. Gave the reversal right up. Dalton 10-0 and back points. It's going to be 13-0 if there's no pin here. Gutnick, you're just fighting for team points at this point. And he's going to hook that leg. That's exactly what I was talking about. Gutnick's completely overpowered. Dalton's got his whole body versus Gutnick's upper body. He's completely overpowered. No matter strength, it's body on body. He's got a leg right over him. He's probably squeezing the life out of Gutnick's ribcage right there. Gutnick's just helpless. Now what you got to do, as you can see, Gutnick's butt, as he stands up right there, he's got to sit out, maybe scoot back out of that leg right there. He's not doing anything for that leg. He's focusing on Dalton's legs, which is not good. He's got to get that leg right over, kind of like you're taking a shirt off, pulling it out. And Niblo's screaming his head off, telling him what to do. Gutnick's just helpless. Look at him in pain. Shoulders hurts. Did a bad job. He's got to stand back up. He's got to base back up. He's got to shoot out. And he's got to shoot his arm out, first of all. He's got no defense. There's their arm right there. Gutnick, you got to flail it out. Gutnick's in pain. As you can see his teeth gritting. There's teeth pain right there. Gutnick's helpless. He's sitting. Dalton's sitting out. 10 seconds left. Gutnick cannot give that up, or it's team. It's a team pin right there, and this could be a whole different match if Willcox get these 10 points plus the pin. Great job by Cienega. 3 points, 13-0 going into the third. Gutnick's choice. Gutnick chooses top. Great decision by Gutnick and Cienega here. Now what you got to do is you can't be a selfish wrestler. You can't be a selfish teammate. As much as an individual sport as wrestling is, you cannot be a selfish teammate worried about your pin here. You got to start thinking about team points. It's 13-0, 21-10. So Willcox, if they win this, they're going to get 13 points. If you let something cheap, if you're on bottom, you let a cheap pin go, that's immediate. You get immediate points, like close to 15 points. And that's a whole different match for Cienega. Instead, Gutnick gives up the reversal. What he should have done, he should have just shot a leg in, like Dalton's been doing a good job of, shot a leg in, rolled the rest of the period out. And instead, Gutnick gets teched. Willcox gets the tech points. Now with a tech, it's a technical win, like a technical knockout. Once somebody gets up 15 points, match is over. Now we have Connor Calloway for the 40s, I believe, or the 50s. Or Caleb Calloway, excuse me, Caleb Calloway, Parker Osterman of Willcox. Caleb Calloway, a sophomore. Last year he was a freshman, wrestled great at the freshman level. He's a big old bulldog, as you can see. He's got great upper body build, great physique. As you can see right here, he's focusing solely on the top. He's a great little bulldog. He's very compact, as you can see. He's got his palms facing the ceiling. He's got his elbows to the rib cage, not letting anything go. That's sort of Greco wrestling right there. Both wrestlers trying to look for something. Both wrestlers doing a great job. See how their feet are parallel to each other? That's a great job right there, so there's no immediate foot. Parker shoots a double. Caleb sprawls, does a nice job. That textbook sprawl right there, textbook sprawl. What you want to do is you want to sort of get your quads on a sprawl, get your quads, shoot them directly to the mat, put your fist, put it down so he can't get anything there. They did that perfectly. Both wrestlers in a neutral position right now. Caleb's just easy. I keep saying bulldog because that's all I could think of. He's just real short, real stocky, stomps around on his feet. There it goes, fighting for wrist control. Both of them got a lock on the right side, left side, excuse me. There's the sprawl right there. As you can see, shoots his quads right towards the mat. Parker's got nothing on that double leg. There's Caleb shooting a single, double off. He's got to stand up. There he goes to stand up. Oh. Did a smart job of flying outside, or flying out of bounds, so there was no points because Caleb would have lost 2 points right there. And when he shot that double leg, the rule is you're not supposed to shoot your hips back. You got to shoot your hips forward. He's trying too hard to pick him up, which loses his weight. Both of them locked on the right side. Head to head. There we go. We're neutral once again. Find for wrist control on that left side. Now Caleb, if I ever, I don't know how good he is on these outside takedowns, but if you can see right now, the arm that he's got hooked up on his shoulder, lift that elbow right up. His leg is right in front of him. All he's got to do is drop right down to that leg. That's a takedown. I don't know how good he is on that, but that's what I see way up here. Cienega chooses down. Smart move here. It's 0-0. All he's got to do is stand up. It's 1-0. Caleb, good bell wrestling. Willcox goes, or Parker goes for the ankle pick right away. He's trying to shoot up the cradle. Willcox loves the cradles, and if I'm a wrestler on deck, that's what I'm going to be looking for. Come the bell. Every Willcox wrestler is wrestling the same out here. That's a good reflection of the coaching. Caleb's doing a good job. As you can see, he's got his arm shot right in towards his sternum on the right side. As you can see, that leg on the right side, doing a good job of posting him up. It's a good job of shifting his weight, make sure he can't get turned. And that's exactly what Parker's trying to do. As you can see, those ankles hooked on the back side. He's trying to spread his legs out so that he can't shift his weight as good. And Caleb's got a big, strong base right here. Shot both elbows out on the leg ride. The rule here, if you're based up on all fours. It's just like a table. The more legs you take off of a table, the more likely it is to fall. Can't just get one, you got to get two, maybe three if you can. No points have been scored, and we might have some here. Jinx. Caleb could possibly get pinned here. He's got no defense. Oh, great bridge there. Great hip high, shooting his hips over. His hips are stronger than his shoulders. He's got to shoot his hips over to shift his weight. 3-0 Parker, 3-0 Willcox. He's got a leg. Caleb's doing a nice job of not getting broken down, but he's got to stand up somehow. Willcox might get this caution here, potentially dangerous for that shoulder. That over half is menacing, completely painful. There goes Caleb right back to his back again. We're going to get a 6-0 here, possibly a pin if he does not shoot his underleg, he doesn't hip pice out. His legs are in a completely wrong position. His left leg, right on your screen, the leg that was right on the screen should have kicked over. Legs were in a completely wrong position there. Willcox chooses down. Now, if Caleb's smart, you got to go directly for the pin here. You got 2 minutes. You stand up. It's going to be 7-0. Very hard to come back from. Now, Caleb, you got a big upper body. You got to go for a throw. You got to go for something. Instead, he doubles off. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful right there, giving up no points. Caleb, you got to shoot your hips over. I know he's got a little hold right there on your quad, on your hamstring. Excuse me. You got to get rid of that. As he's trying to double off right here. Got to get rid of that elbow. Stalemate. As I explained that before, 11 seconds of nothing. 1 point red, locking hands. Or, excuse me, not locking hands. No violation there. They're back on neutral. Caleb had nothing there. Caleb, you got to get a takedown here. You got to shoot something. You got to get back to work. You can't just stand. There's a minute 25 left. You can't be standing there trying to get wrist control. You got to immediately shoot for the legs. You got to get something going here. You got to get back to work. Tick, 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 tick. Minute 12 left in the third period. 7-0 Willcox. It's 21-15. Willcox gets this win with no points. This is a match all of a sudden. There we go with the two. All of a sudden it's 9-0. Minute left. Caleb, like I said before, you can't be a selfish wrestler. You can't be thinking about your own team. Now you just can't give up the pin. Can't give up the team points at this point. Caleb, you got to escape. You got to do something. He's gassed, completely gassed. Sets up a leg again. Caleb, he's got to stand up. He cannot roll. There we go. He's doing a good job. He's not letting him get to his rib cage, and I just jinxed him again. There he goes with that shoulder, with that power half once again. Caleb, there's 28 seconds left, man. I know you're hurting. I know you're tired. You got to just stay right there. No matter the pain, no matter the pain. Parker might let him up here, get a point. Instead, he shoots both legs in. He's trying to get the power half. Caleb, I know it hurts, buddy. You gotta hold through it. 9 seconds left. 9 seconds left. Don't give up anything cheap towards the end of the match here. 3, 2, 1. 0-0. 9-0 Parker. Now as Willcox gets these points, this is a match. All of a sudden, it was 21-6 at one point. All of a sudden, it's 21-19. Next up, we got Michael Fonseca and Scott Neubauer, the 160-pounders. He was my weight back in the day, you know. Glad to see Scotty holding down the fort.
Whole year ago.
Whole year ago. Way back when. This is Scott's first year at varsity, as you can tell. He's a little shy going out on the mat. And here goes Neubauer. Neubauer standing straight up. Look at him. He's got no defense towards the bottom. Scotty, there he goes with a shot right there. Great job, Scott. He's got to do a better job of finishing that. All he did was shoot. He had no hips. He had no upper body. Neubauer does exactly what Scott should have done. Scott trying to put those quads right on the mat. Does a nice job of that. Has great defense here. There goes Scotty. I should have hung on to that. As you can see, he's trying to stand up. You got to shoot diagonally like he is right there. You can't shoot your hips back. You got to shoot them forward.
Just looks exactly like a football farm tackle.
That's exactly what it is. A lot of guys do a bad job of shooting their hips back. Instead, they got to shoot them forward. Like you're doing a squat. Squat up in the weight room. Shoot your hips up. Scott's on top. It's 2-0. First point scored by Cienega in 2 matches. And Scott gets the pin. That's a clutch play by him. Clutch. 2-0 gets the pin. 21-19. Cienega looking to get some points here. That is completely clutch by Scott. Beautiful, beautiful job. He's smiling. He's happy. He's doing a good job.
Sam Wilson comes up.
Sam Wilson for the 70s.
Quarterback.
Sam Wilson and Rafael Villegas for the 80s. Oh, wait. Sam gets a forfeit here. I'm sorry. Sam gets a forfeit, and then it's Jacob Least and Rafael Villegas for the 80s.
And tell me why
and Sam win the match. Willcox is vacant for that weight class,
okay.
So they give up the forfeit. I tell you what, if the pin couldn't have came at a greater time. He gets the pin, and Sam gets the forfeit, so they immediately get the 5. It's 33-19. Cienega, a few possessions up now. Now, Jacob, you got to – I tell you what, I've never seen Jacob wrestle. I have no idea what he's capable of. He's got a great physique to him. A real big, stocky walk to him. 33-19. Jacob, do your best not to give up any points, man. I'll tell you what. There we go. The 80-pounders. Now we're back into the more brawl-type wrestling. Nobody's flying. There's no more finesse. It's all power at this point here at the 80-pounders. As you can see, like I said, it's more brawl. It's more I'm stronger than you. It's more athlete on athlete here. There's a lot of technique, but a lot of the technique is just power. There goes Jacob. 2-0 already with 1:30 left in the first. Now, Villegas is doing a good job. Like I keep saying before, he's got no defense here on his left side. Jacob, you got to shoot your legs up instead. He just bases up. And there goes Villegas. Like if you look back at the previous matches, all the little guys are shooting their legs in. They're getting wrist control. They're heavy on the head. We're here up at the 80-pounders. Once it gets past the 70s, it's straight power, straight technique here. As you can see right here, he's just grabbing a wrist and he's just turning it right in. You turn it like a twist throttle on a motorcycle, and that's offense right there. Instead, he's trying to get a tilt. Throws back his left side. Villegas just completely being heavy on the head here. Getting a mean power half here on his left side. Jacob, you got to shoot your weight to the opposite side, like you're driving on a skid, like you're driving in New York. Against the skid. There we go, doing a nice job of shifting his weight. He could possibly get some back points here. Jacob, you got to shoot your weight out. You got a hip heist. There's a hip heist right there, back on his stomach. He's got no defense on his legs. He could have just based up there. Instead, he's giving up back points, possibly a pin. Bad news for Cienega and bad news for Jacob. End of the period, 5-0. Villegas gets the back points. Green defers. Jacob on top. Has an amazing, Villegas with an amazing peek out. Coach is throwing their arms up. That was, and he gives up the pin. 5 points plus the pin. Willcox is going to get those points. They're not going to be in the lead quite yet. Cienega did a good job of getting their points while they can. I'll tell you what, Niblo broken record with that. It says get your points when you can. As much of an individual sport as wrestling is, it is so much of a team sport. Niblo does a fantastic job of preaching that. Not once does any of these Cienega wrestlers think about themselves. They're always thinking team points, team points, team points. They're not worried about their individual points. They're not worried about getting their name in the paper. They're worried about getting the team points, getting the team W. Will Walker, senior wrestler, looking to make a run at the state qualifier this year, gets a forfeit. And here comes the big boys. This is always my favorite.
Not quite sumo wrestling, but close to it.
Close to it. Technique is all the same. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Here we go. Eddie Bensing at the 285s. Eddie Bensing is an old lineman at the Cienega football team. Does a great job at the tackle position. And those old linemen, as you can see, as they kind of transition to wrestling, every old lineman I've seen has amazing hips. And that's all you need, because all this big boy wrestling, that's all throws. It's all shooting and sprawling out. You got to have your good hips. Eddie Bensing is a great job. Does a great job of keeping his hips. As you can see right here, all of his weight shifted back on the ground in his heels. Here at the big boys, you're not worried about the guy shooting an outside takedown, a sweep single. You're not worried about that. All it is throws. As you can see right there, Eddie Bensing overpowering that guy. He's got a great over half. He's got to pull that head up, pull his chin towards the ceiling, or pull his chin towards the sternum. That's a pin right there as he's scooping it.
Do believe Eddie Bensing is undefeated so far this season.
So far he is. He's got to shoot him back in bounds. Willcox wrestler doing a great job of trying to get out of bounds, and Bensing gets the pin. Final match of the night. I believe so, final match of the night.
Smiles.
Smile, smile, smile. Cienega runs away with it 45-25.
It's Carolina Panthers, undefeated.
Marty holding up a 2. I think we got 2 more matches left. They could be exhibition matches. 51-25, the new score. Yeah, these are exhibition matches. And Cienega's going to go ahead and run away with that match. 51-25. We're looking to get in trouble here towards the middle of the match, towards the 30-40 pounders. Instead, these matches aren't going to count towards the score. These matches aren't going to count towards the records or anything. This is just straight mat time right here. The Willcox wrestler with the red headgear, red singlet, already wrestled a match. He did a good job. He pinned in the second period. And this is all for fun right here. This is all for mat time, all for experience, all for the little guys. As you can see, Jacob for Cienega does a good job on a sweep. Beautiful pipe takedown right there. That's textbook. I haven't seen that ever shot so good. Man, Jacob's a little guy. He's an underexperienced guy, but he looks like he's got 4 years under his belt with that last pipe takedown. That was textbook. We're back to little guy wrestling. There's a lot more technique here. He's got a wrist roll underneath. Shooting back to the opposite side. Willcox sitting out. As you can see, if you guys remember how Addison Bliss got rolled, bucked off right at the top, like he was riding a horse in a rodeo. He got bucked right off of the horse. Jacob of Cienega is doing a nice job. See how low his head is towards compared to his shoulder blades. He's getting a little high there towards the end, but you got to stay as low as you can, or else you're going to get bucked right off, rolled right over. There you go. He's got no defense on the left side. And as you can see, if you got wrist control, arm control, elbow control, all three of them on the left side, you got to shoot that back to the. You got to shoot your whole body to the right. Get a roll, get a maybe nice dive through tilt, get a cradle, get something. You can't just have the arm just to have the arm. You got to hook it up with something. Do not do. As you can see right there, you hear coach is screaming a little bit. If you get your elbow and you shoot it, as you can see right here, elbow on the shoulder, that's bad news for Jacob. He did an awful job of keeping his elbow control right there. Got rolled right over. Niblo losing his mind on the side. That's a big do not right there. Big no-no. Now he's got a cradle hooked up. 20 seconds left in the first period. 2-2. Jacob's got to do a smart wrestling right here. Don't give up any points. You're going to get a decision right here. Go right in the second period, tied. Don't give up a cheap one right here, Jacob. Grit your teeth. Shift your weight out. Don't let anything past you. And there's the first period right there. Since these are exhibition matches, it's 1-1-1, 1 minute consecutively. So these should be some pretty fast matches here. And right here, Willcox did a fantastic decision right here. It's tied 2-2, basically 0-0. Excuse me, basically 0-0. So all he has to do is ride the rest of the match, ride the rest of the period out, maybe get some back points, don't give up an escape. And worst comes to worst, if you're on top the whole 1 minute period, or whole 2 minute period, I'm sorry. I believe it's 2-2-1 now. Excuse me, forget the 1-1-1. Hold the rest of the period out. He can stay in this position right here. Going to the third period. Maybe get a neutral. It's tied 2-2. Instead, he's going to get some back points here. And nobody seems to. There he goes. As you can see, kind of crossing his legs right there. Willcox doing it there. You got to cross him. You got to kick him out. Willcox wrestler did a good job of not letting him kick. Instead, he just sat right back on his shoulders. Pin. Good job for the little guy, for the young buck. Had a great pipe takedown in the first period. I'll tell you what. If I'm a coach, that's what I'd like to see. There's Niblo. Niblo doing a good job telling the young buck, hey man, you're underexperienced. You got outmanned, but hey, you got some mat time. You got a great takedown at the beginning. Nothing to be ashamed of right there. And here we are back to the center of the match. Cienega doing a beautiful takedown towards the middle. Shot right out of bounds. Cienega's got a great sweep takedown to the side. He's got to get rid of that opposite arm. Instead, he's going to just roll right over it. Could possibly get some back points. He's got to get a takedown here. Or, I'm sorry, he's got to get his hips matched with the other wrestler's hips to get his points. And he's going to get some back time there. That's a pin if I've ever seen one. Back to back. Great job, Cienega there. Cienega runs away with the win. They're going to shake hands. Cienega was never down at one point. They got a little iffy towards the 130-pounders, towards the 140-pounders. But I'd say the moment of the match right here is Jacob at the 160-pounder getting the pin, getting Cienega's momentum back. Right after that, Sam Wilson with the forfeit. Get your points while you can. Hyphen Marty Niblo. Jacob probably won the match for Cienega single-handedly. If I'm Coach Niblo, you got to high-five him. Pat him on the back. Did a nice job of getting the pin when he could. Got his pin points. It was 21-19 when that happened. Cienega got the pin. Sam Wilson with the forfeit next match. That was a very pivotal point of the whole match, and this is his first year varsity. Jacob, good job. Jeez, I'll tell you what. You got anything to say, Nathan?
Definitely good job to Eddie Bensing getting that pin. Definitely helping the team out, getting a quick pin. I don't know much about wrestling, but I do know enough that pin's good. And in a second, we're going to get Art Mata down on the mat to get a quick couple of interviews with some of the key players, key wrestlers in this match.
All right. I'm just going to ask.
Oh, take the face detection off on the camera. Just click that button, take it off, and then hit OK.
That's all good.
Okay.
All right, and we're going to have to wait. We did have Coach Niblo. I talked to him briefly, and what I did talk to him about, he's got great health improvements. Last year, he had some problems out in his stomach. He looked like he came out of a microwave. He was real skinny. His neck was shrunken. As you can see, looks a ton better. They're rolling up the mats. Was going to ask him a couple questions about the state qualifiers. Was going to ask him about new coaches. They have one new coach, Jack. He's from South Point. Other than that, great match from Cienega. I'll send it right back up to you guys.
All right, all right. Well, we certainly appreciate the time, and we'll see if we can get Coach Niblo and maybe a couple of wrestlers that would give us an interview here, watching exclusive coverage of Cienega High School wrestling. Art Mata on the play-by-play and the color commentary at the same time. Nathan Peterson, a cameo, coming in on the coverage as well. And I'm Jason Miller. So we'll bring Art back on here. And let's see if we can. Art, we'll get you on this microphone for now here, and you can give us I don't know if you've given us a synopsis or a summary of what was happening in the match here. You talked about a pivotal moment in the match with Jacob. Yeah. Can you kind of go through that again?
Like I said before, it was 21-19. Cienega only up by a few points. They had back-to-back pins. And Jacob, the 160-pounder, first-year varsity wrestler. He's a second-year wrestler, I think. I saw him a couple matches last year. And this year, came out in his match 21-19, like I said before. Willcox had all of the momentum, and Jacob comes out, gets a pin in the first period. And it was that turned the whole match around. Cienega had the momentum. Next match up, they had Sam Wilson. And then the match after that, Will Walker with a forfeit, Eddie Bensing. They had their whole lineup was stacked right after that. So pretty much if I could compare it to something, it was like, let's say the Yankees were down to the Sox. Sox had their ace in, 7th inning. Yanks are only up a couple of runs. And, excuse me, some free agent right off a rookie ball team goes ahead, does a nice job of just shooting it right in the gap between center and left field, gets a good base hit. They get the run back in. All of a sudden, you got Jeter. You got, well, not Jeter anymore. You got Jeter up. You got A-Rod up. You got your whole beef of the lineup right back up. Did a nice job of getting your points while you can. Niblo always stresses that, get your points when you can. And as I'll tell you what, if I'm a coach, if I'm Niblo, if I'm Brown, if I'm other Coach Brown, beautiful, beautiful job by Jacob. That's all I can say right there. Completely pivotal this whole match.
How many forfeitures did Willcox have here?
They had 2,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
So how many points does Cienega get off of a forfeit?
10, 5 each.
Okay, so 10 points total.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
just,
if Jacob would have played his cards completely wrong, he could have gave up even 4 points and the pin. Cienega would have been down. Those 10 points wouldn't have meant much. But instead, great job by him. I'm just in complete shock.
I
Didn't think he had it in him.
if you wanted to grab, like, I know Eddie Bensing had a nice match at heavyweight. If you want to interview him and maybe Will Walker,
Seniors.
yeah, sure. I mean, that would be great. And did Coach Niblo say he'd be coming back, or
He's a busy guy. He's got to facilitate everything because he's
disappeared?
Yeah.
That was a.
he's got to roll up the mats and he's got to tell everybody where everything goes. Did a good job.
All
But
right.
I can't blame him. He's a busy coach.
We'll bring Eddie up here.
Senior wrestler.
I'll give him this headset, and then we'll flip the camera around on the 2 of you guys.
Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? How's it going? I got Eddie Bensing here. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, go ahead, look at the camera right here. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. So, senior year, senior match. Your first couple of matches went great, I heard.
Yeah.
This match went great, I heard. So, as a busy guy, you're trying to control your schedule with football. Football's over. Now you just got classes. Why don't you go ahead and explain to the camera what a senior athlete is like? What being a senior athlete is?
Well, it's kind of crazy with SCP and everything. Like, he's got to fit everything in. You know, it's just stressful, but if you put it all together, it'll work out fine.
And that's exactly it right there. And as you can saw, you had a great lat drop right in the first period, right to his back, kind of flew out of bounds towards a little bit. You brought him right back in. Why don't you tell us about that, how you got the pin, you flung his chin back up, or what was your strategy there?
Well, since most heavyweights are humongous people, I normally just try playing it out till they get really tired, and then just wait till they give up, honestly.
Wait till they give up, honestly. And, well, there you have it, guys. Thank you very much, Eddie. Good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys. Hey, we have Will Walker, too.
Gotta give the people what they
And
want, Flynn.
up next, we got to give the people what they want. We got Big Bulldog here, Willie Walker. Had a great match. Will, why don't you tell us about your match?
I had a forfeit today.
There we go. Didn't
So,
lose. Didn't lose. Got his
real
points
easy.
when he could. All right, like I asked Eddie before, you just came off a good football season. You're now onto your wrestling season. You're balancing your classes. You're balancing your schedules. You're balancing your workload. Why don't you go ahead and tell the camera, tell the folks at home what it's like being a senior athlete?
It's great. I'm just ready for this mess to be over. Should be easy sailing as far as school goes out from
Easy
here.
sailing.
And then, I don't know.
He doesn't know.
Stop repeating everything I say, man.
All right. Now you got a couple matches coming up. You looking to make a run for the state qualifier this year, Will?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about what happened last year?
I didn't. Well, I got top 8. Last 3 years in a row, I've gotten top 8. I'm looking to definitely place at least this year, but I'm definitely going for
Who'd
the
you say
gold.
who's your biggest competition out here in Arizona?
It depends, because you never know who's going to drop. There's some kids who are in my – there's a kid, 95 state champ last year, who's in my weight class this year, but he might drop back down. So, but if he didn't drop, he'd definitely be my best competition. Other than him, there's one other kid they have ranked above me, but I don't really know him. So.
All right. Well, there you have it. Will Walker, senior athlete, heavy wrestler, big boy bulldog, big everything, as you can see. Thank you very much, Will. Good luck with the rest of your season.
Art.
And I'm Art Mata from Bobcat TV. Nathan Peterson behind the camera. Jason Miller, Josh Kramer right behind the boards. Signing off.